Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Okay, this is Larry Ray with no coffee. I hope my wife's enjoyed it. It's sitting right there on the cabinet right there. I fixed it specially because of my voice going up and down with this crazy weather.
Didn't have his key this morning.
Didn't have my
his
key this morning. Didn't have my coffee this morning, and you'll understand why here on a segment coming up that I've been kind of busy lately. But this young man's been busy right here too, hasn't he? I mean, this.
Oh yeah, this is
as Dave Gabbert told you earlier, that this is not all the biologists don't take off time. Particularly after the deer season and things along that line. They're getting ready for turkey season on April the 1st. And, of course, youth weekend is before that is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But Daniel Stanfield is on with us right now, TWRA out of Region 1. And, Daniel, as Dave was saying, this is comment time, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
And what do you got, 2 or 3 comments?
It'd make our lives a lot easier if we had 2 or 3 to sort through them, but no, we've got several thousand that we have to go through. And it's good that we get that many from the public. You know, it's good to get that input in.
Is it more this year? If you look at it, it's there's a lot of interest in what's going to happen next year and what happened this past year. It's
Correct. It is, and it's scattered out, and it's probably about the same as we've had in past years, but it seems like it's scattered out more this year about different hunting seasons, different categories, different items that they're talking about. I mean, we get comments in about the fur bearers, trapping, we get small game hunters as well as your big game hunters in regards to deer season and turkey season. So it's scattered out good this year.
What about as you look back on the 2016-2017 deer season, were the figures, I haven't even looked at them lately, and I know they were pretty close to what we had last year, despite some rule changes. Were you pretty pleased with the way the season went?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, everything's still looking good. I mean, you know, we're looking at doe harvest and buck harvest, and that, you know, trying to keep it along 50% in some of the Unadale counties, and that, you know, it's going to change a little bit each year. But in an overall nutshell, there was nothing to be alarmed about. So that's what we're looking at. And a lot of these numbers we look at, you can't really go off of a change from one year to next. We're looking at a 3-year, 5-year, you know, trends over time.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, people don't understand if we're going to make like the change last year, the commission wanted.
Yeah.
You know. Now, to see if that's going to work like they think it's going to work, then we tell them, hey, this is a 3 to 5 year process before we, you know.
In other words, you're not going to yo-yo back and forth from it's hard to get a real idea of the trend.
It's hard to get a grasp to see if the decision made has an effect over a 1-year time.
Yeah. And I know that the antlerless deer debate is ongoing. It continues to stir interest even in March here, you know. So because people are saying, well, how did that go and how did that go? Are you reluctant to change a rule, give it 1 year? You know, it's very few football coaches, if they go 0-10 and they got a 4-year contract, you know, I'm saying, well, I don't know. We may have to buy that old boy out, you know, type stuff. So, but managing the animals is an entirely different thing, though.
It is. It totally is. You got to sit back. I can't sit there and tell you, you know, what's going on. So you kind of got to get it time and look at numbers and try to get as much data that we can get in from different user groups and different hunters, sportsmen that are out there.
And again, of course, talking to Daniel Stanfield, TWRA Region 1, big game coordinator and fur bearer and things along that line. And Dave knows I have this, I don't know how we can judge what happens to deer in West Tennessee as to what happens to deer in East Tennessee. because we're in the heart here, man. I mean, you look at the numbers from Fayette, you look at the numbers from Hardeman, you look at the numbers from Henry County.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went back over, and it was like 6 out of the top 10 are from our area. So
Absolutely.
That's the one that's hard to. And Dave will know this. It's I don't want to split the state like we grand 3 divisions, stuff like that, but we're just like another state over here in our section compared to what the deer is in East Tennessee.
It is, and it's the same way with deer as well as turkeys. I mean, they're just so diverse from the western portion to the eastern portion, and it is. You want to try to make everything as simple as you can for the sportsman out there, and try to with bag limits and seasons, but it gets hard because it's hard to manage a species statewide like that. So that's why you got unit A, B, and L, and that's some of the things we've possibly looked at with turkeys on down the road, because different counties have having lower populations than others across the state.
Well, I know that with our population, if we talk turkey, I mean, Shelby Forest is the home of Tennessee turkeys. I mean, that's where they started, and that's where we stocked them and moved them around. And then I look at the deer population, and I know, I can remember old Joe Farr. The deer man himself, with those pictures of when we were trapping deer and moving them around, and we had deer that was had Wisconsin genes in them, and then you had Fort Campbell, and now I see over in Gallatin that we're killing a deer that ought to be someplace else, and we got a world record deer in Tennessee. Does that not blow your mind as a deer biologist?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it goes to show you, if you go back through time and look, like you said what Joe did years back, and even biologists before my time.
Yeah.
They had a plan. They saw an end result of where they wanted to get to. And it's amazing when you start looking back through the pictures and talking to the older guys that were there.
Well, I never thought in my lifetime, and I'm still thinking, how'd that deer get here? I mean, Dave's shaking his head over there. I mean,
and to show you how how the reasonings and stuff, and Joe lived there in the county where I worked, so known Joe a long time, and we used to have some real good conversations. And when Joe first went to work, years and years, that the thought of the wildlife management section in Nashville, they scoffed, they laughed, they said, a deer can't survive in West Tennessee.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and laughed, being from Louisiana and stuff down there, and that's what Joe did, when he first went to work 7 days a week.
Yes.
Keeping it hot, trapping deer off Fort Campbell and moving them out
of there. Then it comes to that, but that deer though was that the young man killed over near Gallatin just blew my mind. So what do you think these times right now? Are you still taking comments? Are we still in a comment period, or what's the?
No, the comment period's already finalized or been through. So what kind of the way the process that goes is, once the comments are all compiled, that our wild division up in Nashville, they'll take a week or so to go through them and kind of separate them out, kind of get some structure to the madness, I guess you say.
Yeah.
And then they send them out for distribution for all the different regions to look at them, and then we just start and let everybody look at them. We let officers, enforcement officers look at them, managers, biologists, everybody, to try to sort through it basically and get an idea and say, hey, is this a real thought through recommendation? Is this something we need to be looking at? And everybody kind of votes on it, has a say on it, and it just kind of goes through the regions, and then it goes on to another meeting there in Nashville where everybody else sits in and says, hey, look, our guys really like this or support this, or, the biological data says this is something we need to look at.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how the process goes, and then we have our master list of recommendations for the season setting, and then we go on up and it goes to the commission. I mean, that's basically how it works. Every year we do this. After hunting season, everybody's packed their gear up and ready to go fishing. Well, we start working for the next year.
And then we set the deer dates when, Dave?
The commission always will set the seasons in their May meeting.
In their May meeting. Okay. Yeah. So you know.
In April, the agency will present our recommendations.
Okay.
And then we throw it out to the public for 2-3 week period there to get public comment on recommendations.
And then they'll come back in May and
then May we present it to the commission to be whether they pass it or not is the the privy of the commission. So but that will be in May because we need it to be passed so we can get the hunting guide out. Go to press and get that stuff out by usually the guides ready by July. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I know that I know you're not sitting around and everything. We've got a couple of minutes here. Let me ask you quickly, Daniel. Anything changed on the CWD, chronic waste disease, or are we okay there still?
Well, I mean, we're okay right now. We've sent all of our samples off. Of course, the number of samples, basically went up by 10 about what we usually get. But they're getting tested. Haven't heard anything back from them as far as test results.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we've stopped. I mean, we're still monitoring. We got guys going to meetings, talking with other states that are going through the CWD right now, saying, okay, what's the good, the bad, the ugly?
Yeah.
How do we prepare ourselves? Because, you want to prepare for the worst, so.
Yeah, you always have to look at the doomsday to get to the good days.
It's been rough. It's been hectic along with everything else.
Well, we appreciate you taking time on this Saturday morning, buddy. Daniel Stanfield, have a good one, and we'll stay in touch. And I appreciate Gabbert being here as my interpreter to know exactly what you said and everything, okay?
Y'all have a good week.
Talk to you, Daniel. All right, let's take a break. Come back now, and we're going to give away a tree.
A tree.
A tree. Not just in a tree, a 6-foot oak tree. On Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there